Hey guys, it's Kells and I'm back with another video. Um, so I know you guys are wondering where have I been, and I promised you a live, and so I'm here to explain to you guys where I've been. Um, just a little history, there's a little background on my channel. As my longtime subbies know, living abroad in London all had to do with like dating. How's the dating in London? How's the dating? And so I started to do a lot of videos exploring, dating as a Black woman in London and overseas in Europe and traveling. And, my time in London really, really spurred my interest in travel. And it really was the reason why I started this YouTube channel in the first place. And so as I transitioned out of my life in London and transitioned back to the States, instead of going back down south where I'm from in Florida, in Miami, I decided to move to DC where I am now. And so I tried to transition my content from dating in Europe and traveling in Europe to dating in DC. And I did that for a bit, but I found that it got a little bit boring after a while. And so I kind of transitioned my content on the channel to be a little bit more speaking about what was happening in current events, Meghan Markle, leveling up, Serena Williams, and all of that. And then also I started the It's Kells Collective, where I asked you guys to chime in, send me your dating drama, your dating tea. I'm sure you'll remember that. And I would talk about it here. You'd email it into me and I talk about it here on the channel. And so I did that for a bit as well. And that was fun. That was super fun, opening up an email box for you guys and really getting to connect with you guys through emails and everything like that, and hearing about your crazy dating stories and kind of giving you my opinion on what was happening. And then also, having the community be able to chime in to help you guys with your dating issues as well. And I did that for a while, and that was super, super fun. But at the same time that I was doing all the It's Kells Collective videos, I was also doing kind of some personal work on myself. And what I mean by that is that my time in London had led to this, for me personally, an exploration of femininity, and really trying to uncover why I felt so different in London than I did here in the States. And when I started to ask myself those questions, when I started to evaluate how I felt in London versus feeling here in the States, it led to this exploration of femininity. And so I was looking at videos and reading and just studying that. And as I got more into that, I really felt that overseas and living here or even traveling is the ability to be more feminine, to be more introspective, to be a bit softer, and to be received a bit better as a woman. I don't know how, when you travel. I find that like here in the States, the women are so go-getters, you know what I mean? Like I can, people consider me a go-getter, so I'm not, it's not a criticism, but everyone is super always on the grind, always hustling, always trying to, get to the bag, get to the next thing. And it doesn't really allow for someone to be an introvert, somebody to be able to listen to their own inner guidance, for somebody to understand their own intuition, for people to not always be pushing their personality forward, but, in some senses, chilling out. I hope that makes sense. To be able to hear their own intuition. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where I was. That's kind of where I got to as it related to femininity. And so as I did my exploration of femininity, after coming back, it also led to kind of this deeper exploration of self and understanding kind of what my passions were, what I really, and, whenever I would ask myself that question, travel was always the response that I would get. And when I say the response that I would get, it's kind of like in those quiet moments when you're just kind of chilling out and maybe meditating or yourself or writing or anything where you're doing by yourself in a stillness of self. And when you ask yourself those questions, the response that you get or the feelings or the thoughts that come through, for me, that was travel. So, that kind of exercise of listening to myself, trusting myself is what I've been working on for the past, I think I've been gone for like 9 months, which is totally, it don't even feel like 9 months. I know you guys have been writing me and messaging me and being like, girl, where are you? I hope you're good. Of course I'm good. Thank you so much for your concern. You guys know I'm good. If you're following me on IG, you definitely know I'm good. And if you're following the It's Kells page on Facebook, for my channel, my YouTube channel, you know I'm good. I'm always posting on there. But I really just took some quiet time, you know what I mean, to do an exploration of self, as I said. I started writing again. I used to write a lot when I was younger, and I stopped writing abruptly because one of my parents read my journal. I was being definitely intrusive, and I stopped writing. And writing has always been an amazing outlet and passion of mine. And when I say writing, I mean even writing stories, writing journaling, writing poetry, creative writing. All of that had been a huge passion of mine, and I kind of stopped doing it for a while. And then I picked it up again to do it on my blog, kmelanie.com, but I stopped that even. And so, in the last 8, 9 months that I've been off of YouTube, I started writing again, and I realized how powerful that has been for me to get back into my true nature of expressing myself with writing. And I also find that when I write, um, information comes to me. It doesn't connect to what people in the spiritual community call your guides, your inner knowing. All of that flows so easy for me when I dedicate the time to self to write in the morning times or to write in the evening times. And I'm really very, very happy picking back up that kind of passion of mine. And how I do it is that I dedicate the time. So in the morning time when I wake up, when I'm still halfway in that kind of meditative state of sleep, I'll take a few moments just to write about my day yesterday, or to write what I'm grateful for, or to write whatever's on my mind. And if nothing's on my mind, I always grateful for. And once you start to write what you're grateful for, the ideas and the concepts and the intuition and the inspiration starts to flow easily. So, it's just been amazing how, I into my life, and how it has totally really reconnected me to me. And I didn't even realize that I wasn't truly connected to self for such a long time. I was almost there, but now it's just good. I've also, been doing a lot more with my health, watching the food that I'm eating, and really paying attention to how I feel after I eat, and then tailoring my diet. So noticing that what my cravings are, and then what I decide to eat, how much I eat of it, and then how I feel afterwards. And if I notice that I do not feel good, if I feel lethargic, or if I feel, icky, or however I feel based on what I eat, I tailor it from there. And that's been really, amazing for me. My whole work in the last 8, 9 months have been to pay attention to myself, and to go towards everything that makes me feel good I should be feeling. Food, my writing has been that. My food, I've been paying keen attention to. You guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I work out quite a bit. So my workouts have been tailored as well. The yoga that I do, I've picked up another yoga class. So I've been able to up that to 2 times per week, which is amazing for me. And it makes me feel so grounded and so centered afterwards. And yeah, so my writing, my fitness, I'm trying to, it's changed quite a bit. What I'm reading, I am reading so many more books that my friends have recommended to me. Some really interesting content about, quantum physics and quantum fields, and awareness and consciousness, and different levels of consciousness. It sounds super weird, but I've had books on my shelf for years that they piqued my interest years ago, but I never really got into them. And then in the last 8, 9 months, I have an interest in, awareness of self, and collective consciousness, and law of attraction, and spirituality, and moving towards what feels the best for me. All of that has been what I've been doing in the last 9 months. I know a lot of people do. Hey guys, I'm not looking at the comments right now, so I'll look at them in a bit. But I just wanted to kind of connect with you guys a little bit and let you guys know where I've been. So, uh, I know a lot of people do what they call vision boards, but for me, a vision board really wasn't what I loved. So I decided to do a vision book. And so I have this kind of binded book, and I write a lot. Whenever I read something that's truly inspiring to me and helps me more awaken and expand my consciousness, I'll write it in my vision book. Instead of cutting out pictures of random people in magazines or things like that, I write what's inspiring to me. I draw what's inspiring to me. Recently I was called to, like, and when I say called, I recently told me, like, you should get like this pink crystal, and I was like, okay. So I've just been really leaning into my intuition recently, and I've been really leaning into my intuition recently, and it's I've just been doing what it says. And so I was like, okay, crystals. And I was like, cool, let's do crystals. And they've been fun just to look at and play with and things like that. And supposedly they're supposed to, elevate your vibration. And I do sense that. But it's something hard to explain. So I'm just letting you guys know what I've been working on. And so, yeah, things have been going really, really good. Stuff that I've been doing, and just reconnecting with, you know, my femininity. I got the inspiration to work with a group of women on a community called the Travel Alchemist Collective. And the reason why I got inspired to do that was because travel has been powerfully transformative for me. Powerfully transformative. It has initially, I just asked myself, what did I really really want to do, because I found myself doing what others said I should do, and it wasn't really working out to the it wasn't really making me feel the best. And this was years ago. And so, as I said, I asked myself, what do I really want to do? And travel came out. And when I started to travel, I was like, yo, this is dope. And that kind of spurred me to start asking myself a lot of questions about myself. And so, just more recently in the last 8 months, I was like, okay, I really want to continue the platform of travel. I really want to and dive into that kind of concept a bit deeper. And so so that's why travel is what I'm going to be kind of pivoting my content towards more in the next phase of its Kells. And Alchemist, it's called Travel Alchemist Collective, because alchemy scientifically, it's the way that you can turn non luxury, metals, like, into something that is actually expensive, like gold. So it's like a scientific way that people transform not things that are like not that valuable into something that's valuable. And that's the concept behind it in the scientific world. In the spiritual world, it's more of being able to transform yourself, transform your thinking, transform your environment, transform yourself, if I didn't say that, and being able to elevate yourself in the direction that you feel is closest to who you actually are. And that is called alchemy. There's a book by Pablo Coelho, I think it's called The Alchemist. A bunch of people read it. It's an old book. It's probably like 25 years old, but essentially talks about your life path and how you're able to transform and certain principles that carry throughout everyone's life. And so I really like the concept of alchemy, being able to go from nothing to something, being able to transform. And so I said, all right, I'm going to name it Travel Alchemist and Collective. Of course, you guys, I love the concept of community. So collective, just like it's the Kells Collective, I decided to name it a collective. And so the Travel Alchemist Collective is going to be a group, particularly for women, but I will work with men, because I realize that like percent of my viewers on this channel are men, which I think I think it's good, because I like for men to have an understanding of a woman's perspective. Now, I'm not going to say that my perspective is representative of a lot of women's perspective. It's definitely not. It's only representative of my perspective, but there are some women that my perspective resonates with. So, if you guys are watching and you guys are like men, and they're like there's like 61 or 65% of you, how I'm going to build this community out to be at the forefront of travel alchemy. So so it's going to be a community for women, and I'm going to be saying hi guys. So it's going to be a community. I'm repeating myself. It's going to be a community for women. It's going to be a community for women, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing group coaching sessions, and I'm going to be doing individual coaching sessions. And what we're going to be doing is building out a travel transformation plan. And what I mean by travel transformation plan is a plan of action for each individual woman to follow her deep desire to travel. So I know I get messages from you guys all the time, and there's a bunch of women who love the concept or the idea of, but they're having a lot of barriers to it, whether it be personal, financial, fear, not feeling like they're worthy enough to travel, not knowing where to start, or having started but not knowing how to continue. The seas, having lived there before, or another big one that I noticed that that I ran into and that I had to overcome a lot personally was reverse culture shock. So after having lived overseas for a long while, having to come back, transition back into the US. And that is like a seriously hard thing to do, especially when your sense of self has changed so much based on living in a completely different country. And if you guys go back through my videos, you know that I've talked in the past a lot about reverse culture shock and how you're received overseas versus how you're received domestically, like in the U.S. And so into the States or trying to figure out how to live overseas long term. And so in the month of March, ideally, what I would like to do is get the group together. Now, it is a paid group, have a private Facebook group, and then the group will be paid, and then we will go through sessions twice per week in the month of March for 4 weeks, and then there will be individual sessions with me where the lady do the kind of work to be able to create their travel transformation plan. So really my deepest desire, want for the group is for me to be able to share with the women everything I wish somebody would have told me or shared with me about how transformative and how powerful overcoming the barriers to travel are and making it a priority. And there are a lot of things that I did when in terms of traveling that I just had to be extremely bold about and do because I was following my inner calling. And I want this group to be an encouraging space for women to do the same thing because I want women to be able to understand themselves outside of the American perspective of themselves. Now, I'm not going to say that this is only for Black women, but Black women or women of color or any group of woman that feels that she doesn't quite, damn, I really would like to travel, and I really would like, there's something calling me to this sense of adventure, and I know that there's something more than going to work every day. And pretty much I've been able to build a pretty comfortable career traveling woman lifestyle, and I want to be able to share the insider tips with this community. They've already been asking me, "Oh, are you planning trips? When are you doing trips? When are you doing trips?" And initially, I wasn't really thinking about doing trips, group trips, but I'm like, "Yo, y'all are dope for putting the same headspace is putting together these kind of retreats. Now they'll be exclusive to the women in the communities and, dress up and be, just goddesses, traveling goddesses that we are. But there will also be an element to the trips that in, would include able to work with space of self-transformation, who are in the space of inner knowing and who have done the work to kind of heal themselves, who have done the work to kind of overcome the inner, um, the negative self sometimes, who have done the work to really key in on their intuition and to trust themselves enough to follow and act and be inspired by what their intuition is giving them. So I want these women who are experts to be in on the trip as well so that we can have some kind of in-person group session on this trip to do that work. So not only just turn up and dress up and, do the whole housewives trip thing, minus all the drama because I don't do drama. It'll be kind of a deeper connection with each other, but more importantly, with self during these trips. I'd also have some yoga work as well, some fitness work. I have a friend who is bomb formed her body, and most importantly, as I said before, her mind and her inner dialogue to be able to slim down and go from a fluffier look to a more refined, sleek, physical look, physicality. And I know a lot of women in the States basically struggle with fitness and struggle with the discipline necessary and the mental transformation necessary to keep a long term fitness regimen and health regimen going. So I would love to have a friend who's in that space to come along on the trips as well to talk about fitness, and how that mental shift that was necessary to get her across that hurdle. So ideally, that's what I would love to do. Is like ultimately, once I start getting the group going, we have a good number of women in there. The women will be hand selected. Let me throw that in there. It ain't gonna be for everybody. This is not for everybody. This is for definitely women who are serious and women who have a deep sense that being in my community, in the travel alchemist community, would be that they really, really want to do, and they have a deep sense that, you know what, that would be dope, and I think that that group would really help me, and I would love to be amongst women who think like that. If you have that sense, then this group is definitely for you, and I would love for you guys to drop a comment below or hit me up in my inbox and email me at itskellscollective@gmail.com and let me know. Give me your phone number, your email address, and I will put you on the email list feedback in terms of what's going to be best for you in terms of the meetings of the group, and they will be virtually. They'll be virtually, and if you're in DC, they'll be in person as well. um, and so I will do that. So if you're interested in it, leave me your contact information. I want your phone number and I want your email address, and send it to me privately, please, because we know they be stalkers on YouTube who be doing the absolute most. So we're gonna on IG, it's Kells with three S's on the end, on IG, or hit me in my inbox on Gmail and send me your information if you think that the group is gonna be for you. Um, so back to the concept of we get our group together and we kind of go through the curriculum. And when I say curriculum, it's the travel transformation plan, and go through all the steps and the stages, talk about things individually and as a group. Once we get our group rolling and going and our private Facebook group, then we'll be able to pull together some trips, poll the group, see where we want to go as a group, and then pull together kind of these events where the women that have been able to do the transformation can lead different sessions during our trip. So, you know what? I feel like I am super geeked about this idea. I know that you guys will be super geeked about this idea, and I know that I will have some powerful connections made with you guys, and not only to transform myself, but also hopefully to transform you. Um, there's I'm open to your ideas. I'm open to your suggestions, and so message me and let me know what you. And yeah, so that's what I have been working on. Just a lot of self work, a lot of healing myself, a lot of understanding what my resistance has been. So, understanding that I'm a powerful manifester, as we all are, but being able to not only manifest, but also to reduce resistance to see those things actually materialize for the individual. And I know that this might be like, was hesitant about, girl, but I know that eventually the people that this message is for, they will hear it. And, I'm excited to be able to articulate it in a way that resonates with you. So, you know what I mean? It's just been doing the work to reduce the resistance and actually see the things that I'm passionate about or that are calling to me, not only be ideas and inspiration in my mind, but actually manifest in the physical, because I've been able to reduce the resistance of blocking myself from getting what I truly want, right? And you kind of block yourself sometimes by not feeling worthy enough for it, not doing enough self-care, not feeling shame or guilt from things that have happened in your past or generated from your family, from your parents, things like that. And these things, sometimes you're not even aware of them. You're not even aware of them. You're just going through life, going to work, being a robot, watching TV, eating a video on TV and on social media, not realizing that, all of that is distracting you from knowing yourself, from knowing thyself. So I've been doing that work of knowing myself and trusting myself, listening to myself, and being inspired by by things such as the Travel Alchemist Collective. So what else has been going on? I'm still in DC. I'm still dipping, having a great time. I'm still dating and traveling. I did do some trips last year that I did vlog, but I didn't edit. So I'm gonna try to do a little compilation video for you guys, edit that and put that out on the channel. Just understand my thoughts on travel and what my trips were and how they were transformative for me. I went to New Orleans. I went back to New Orleans. I went to Tulum, Mexico. My second time in Mexico. Mexico is absolutely divine. If you Atlantic Ocean, if you're tired of the Caribbean and you can't get a lot across the Atlantic Ocean, whether it's like too expensive or whatever your hurdles you're putting up for yourself, try Mexico. Mexico is absolutely the coastal cities, the inner cities. Mexico City I've been to, Polanco I've been to, La Condesa I've been to Teotihuacan, the pyramids. I've been to cenotes in Tulum. I've been to beaches. I've been to Taleta, what Tanca, Caleta Tanca. I've just been to so many places in Mexico, and Mexico never disappoints. I am like I feel like a Mexicana. That place never disappoints. So if you're looking for some place to go that is very doable, but very, just bomb, go for Mexico. So I have some videos from New Orleans, from Mexico last year for my birthday. I don't know if I should tell you guys, but I'm thinking about Dubai, and I just want sun, beach, melanated people feel. So I'm not really interested in the drinks, but I'm definitely wanting some solitude. I could do with some community as well. So I'll put a little group trip. Definitely some solitude time to, meditate and to reconnect with self. As I said, as I told you guys, I have been doing very passionately for the past, year, but 8 months, especially since I've been off of YouTube. And what else am I looking for? Music, vibes, just bare vibes. And honestly, the first place that came to me was Jamaica, because Jamaica is just vibes. But I was thinking, okay, I've been to Jamaica so many times, because so should I try someplace else? And so Dubai came to mind. I feel a little bit like it's the Vegas of the Middle East, but I was thinking about it. Israel popped up. Someplace in the Middle East popped up. Abu Dhabi, Turkey, in that area kind of popped up as well. Tanzania popped up. So yeah, that is what has been in my mind. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I see questions, I see guys, but some of you did definitely did miss me. So if you have any questions for me, I'll give a few minutes to just answer any questions if you guys have. But I really wanted to come where I've been and the inspiration that I've received, where my mind, my headspace is at right now, and what I'm going to be working on moving forward. And this channel is going to be about travel alchemy, and how powerfully transformative to me. And I want to bring that to a community and encourage you guys to travel as well, and not only encourage you in words with pictures and with me like gallivanting, but giving you the true tea, pulling back the curtain, bringing a community, explain to you guys what it really is like to be someone who is able to finesse a traveling career woman lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I was looking at IG a lot. These gorgeous pictures, and I do it too. My pictures be bomb on IG. Don't get it twisted. But I like to put in my captions what I was thinking, or the energy that I was evoking in that picture, or receiving from what I was doing in that picture, to explain to you guys the mindset, not to just brag and boast and post up pictures like a lot of people do on IG, but to let you know how I was inspired by the place that I was at, goals that I was trying to create with the image that I put on IG. You know what I mean? So that is what my IG is about now. And so you'll see my captions are super long, and it can show you a bit about my mindset. And so that same mindset that I've been posting on IG recently, the same mindset that I wrote about in how powerfully transformative travel is for your career, your love life, and your outlook on my blog, is what I'm going to be bringing to the channel here, and also to the community that I'm building out and support. I got a question about what I thought about UK. I loved the UK. I love the UK. I was treated exceptionally well. Um, I was treated exceptionally well in the UK. Now, a lot of people will say that, oh, it's because you're American. That's why you're treated so well in the UK. And I agree with that. It's very much true. Wherever Americans go in the world, you're generally treated, but but on generally, like 99% of the time, they absolutely adore our personality. They absolutely adore how we are. They watch our culture like they watch their own culture. So in the UK, that's how I felt, and I felt like the people. I felt like the people. I knew the people. There was a connection that I was able to make with the people that I worked with, and that the people that I studied with, like true Brits, like white Brits, and even African Brits or Indian Brits or Asian Brits. There was a connection that I was able to make with them that was immediately more deep than the connections I make with people in the States, which was strange to me, but like so amazing. And so I love the UK, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get back over there, and kind of asked myself again, what should I do? And right now, my guidance is saying, keep calm. DC is the place for you. Spend some more time here and just chill a bit, but just travel and visit. And again, talk to your community about how powerful transformative travel is. And not only talk to them, but show them how to do it. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the Travel Alchemist Collective. All right, I saw some other questions come in. Let me just see if I could see what you guys were saying. Here we go. What did I think about? What did I think about? How did you find the culture in Mexico? Was it different to Mexican culture in the U.S.? So yes, of course, the culture in the country than the culture, the Americanized version of the culture. Now it can be very similar, but it's gonna be a truer, more authentic energy to the culture when you are in their homeland. Now, Mexico is conjoining in the US. So, in the southern part of the US, in Texas and New Mexico, you're going to have a very close culture because obviously that's a bordering country and the land used to be one big landmass. But when I went to Mexico, I was just like, yo, this place is dope. The people are authentic and they're down to earth, and they connect with, they look in your eyes, they connect with you. The food is delicious. There's just, you can run the full gamut from city to pyramids to waters to turquoise, fresh water, cenote, spring type things, underwater caverns. It just has so much. It's easy to get to. It's safe. It's no more dangerous than like Miami. If you're from Miami, DC, Chicago, Detroit, LA, any of these big cities, Milwaukee and them, if you're from any of these cities, you know how to move through these cities, Philly, Baltimore, and be safe, you can move through Mexico and be safe. So don't believe the hype of it's dangerous and it's this and it's that. Any major city in any major country, if you go in there acting a fool, you're gonna get robbed. Point blank, period. Just like you would in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, pull my earring out. Don't let anybody frighten you into travel. It's just about being aware and following your intuition, which is another thing that we'll be talking about deeply in the community, in the collective, Travel Alchemist Collective, being able to tap into your intuition and understand the deeper why you do the things that you do, and why you have this calling and passion for travel. You trust yourself enough to act on that passion to travel. So that's another part of the collective that we're going to be discussing when we're pulling together our travel transformation plan. So again, if you're interested in that, definitely hit your girl up. Send me your phone or address at itskells@gmail.com, or slide in my DMs on IG. What else questions you guys have for me? I really want to visit Mexico. I love Mexico. It's easy. It's the food, the drinks, the people there. They're dope. They're dope. I love Mexico. Look at my hair looking all hot. Oh, there we go. Okay. What else do you guys want to ask me? Let's see. I haven't been on in such a long time. I miss you guys. What have you guys been up to? What do you guys sip? I'm here with my tea. Okay. What are you guys talking about? Let me see. Yes, I would live in London again. Um, the system is hard to navigate when it comes to immigration. You know the climate that we're in right now. The immigration climate right now is a hot mess. Everybody's trying to build a wall and all kind of create. Um, so it is a little bit challenging to be able to go over to the UK and work, but I am, it is in my mind to eventually down the road transition into a work from anywhere type space and career for myself. And so I think that it will go hand in hand with me being able to live in the UK again, or at least spend, 6 months there out of the year, and then maybe 6 months here in DC, or however I want to finagle this kind of work from anywhere lifestyle. That is a goal and an aspiration of mine that I'm moving towards. Hey, Marley Barley, what up? What else do you guys have to ask me? Let me know. I've kind of explained to you guys where my headspace is now. I've explained to you guys where I've been and where I'm going, and how you guys can connect with me if you feel like that sounds dope. The collective sounds dope, and I like what she's doing. Are interested? One, smash the like button on this video for me. I'd appreciate it. And two, slide in my DMs and slide in my Gmail box. What do you think of the people in Sweden? Oh my God. When I went to, first of all, I was in Sweden for 7 days in July in 2014. So, oh my God, it's 5 years this year. The people were so soulful, so soulful. They could, for some reason, I was around a lot of people who could sing their butts off. They could sing there. And I was like, and these are like 6 foot tall, beautiful white people. And they were different than the white people in the US. I just gotta be truthful. They were just so different. They were soulful. The food thing, I found it to be a bit salty. And I did wonder how come they don't have a problem with hypertension there or high blood pressure. But they found a way to finagle that. I thought, oh my God, this is where 6 foot tall, white, beautiful people come off of the conveyor belt. I'm like, this is where they make them, because I felt like everywhere I was, that's what I saw in Sweden. These like Norse gods. I was received like Rihanna or Beyonce. They literally were chasing me down the street, trying to like get at me. And no, I don't feel that it was a fetish, because I don't like that concept. I don't like the concept of taking wrapping adoration in this kind of negative viewpoint. If somebody likes you, if somebody's interested in you, somebody wants to know more about you, that doesn't always have to be, it doesn't, you, as a Black person, you don't always have to wrap that in a negative way. It can be they actually like you, they actually are interested in you, and it's up to you to have boundaries to that, just like you would have boundaries in any. It's not up to you to take the love and contort it into something to use to harm yourself. And I find that people do that a lot when they only like you because of fetish. Okay, well, you can harm yourself with love. I won't harm myself with love. What I will do is take the love and be real happy with it and distribute it other places as well. So love is love. So I felt loved there. I was amazed that the sun never set. And the week that I was there in July, the sun never fully, and 1:30 at 2 going home, and it would just be like the sun had just set, and you still had that kind of beautiful haze on the skyline. I thought they were vibing. We were in a club vibing, and they were definitely there with the hip hop music and the reggae music, and just music was a big part of the culture there, and I love that. And I found myself just walking through the streets with my girlfriend, thinking, what in Sweden? And then imagining the globe, and imagining myself, at the top part of the globe, and then thinking, oh, I come from Miami. What am I doing in Sweden? And my mind was just blown. You know what I mean? And I just felt so to be able to experience the sights. I thought the city was incredibly clean, fresh air, clean waters. All the rivers through the city, or all the water bodies of water in the city, were clean. Not like the Thames, the dirty Thames in the UK, or the Seine. I think it's Seine River in Paris, Dotti. You know what I mean? It was not clean. In Sweden, it was that tour. So we went out on the water and went to the islands where the castles are. That was dope. Thank you so much for watching my Sweden vlogs. I think I have 3 Sweden vlogs on this channel. So if you're interested in that, definitely look at Sweden. Sweden is dope. I was in Stockholm. I was definitely in Stockholm. So Stockholm, Sweden, the capital, I believe. What else did I think about Sweden? I loved it. It was like a hipsterish part of town when I was there. I love the culture of the high school students celebrating so wildly in the streets when they graduated. That was dope. I went to businesses. I went to Stockholm Business School, had some classes there. I spent like a good week in Sweden, and so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I was received very well there as well. And people spoke English. Even the older people in the train station that took your tickets, I was shocked that they could. I didn't think they was gonna be able to speak English, but they were speaking perfect English. I learned tak for thank you. Um, I loved Sweden. I love Sweden. I've not been to Italy as yet, sadly, but I definitely want to go to Tuscany, Florence, Milan, Rome, of course, and then Amalfi Coast in Italy is a dream, and I will be there. And there is a luxury outlet in Florence with the Gucci cafe and all that. Your girl is definitely a girl loves a luxury, okay? So that's in Florence, so I might have to hit that up as well. So I've not been to Italy as yet, but it's on the plan. Hi, Damali, what's up? All right. And thank you for introducing yourself. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. All right. What else are you guys asking me? Let's see. Um, yes, I do agree with you, Marley Barley. It is, I don't agree with the fetish thing. And I think the more you travel, this is why I'm really focused on the Travel Alchemist Collective and encouraging people to follow their passion of travel if they truly feel that calling, because it'll hold up a mirror to things that we think are normal, that when you see them from outside of the US, you understand that they're normal in the US, but it's not necessarily normal globally. And you do have the choice and the option to think differently, behave differently, receive information differently, to see your not only from the outside but from the inside as well. So that's another core value that we're going to be talking about when we build out our travel transformation plans in Travel Alchemist Collective. And so if you're interested, you know how to hit me up, let me know. Especially white Americans, Marley Barley. All right. Let me see what else you guys are asking. I'm not gonna stay too long today, but I definitely wanted to open up the lines of communication with you guys and let you guys know that I am still alive and kicking. Your girl is doing very well. Very well. All is well, and everything is always working out for me. I'm working on my law of attraction as well, and um, how I attention and use my words very mindfully. What else are you guys asking me? Hello, Bia. I missed you. Illuminati. Ooh. You guys be wanting so much attention, huh? K's and King. And I use that term king for you loosely. All right. Okay, I think that is. Oh, did you have a video about the royal wedding previously? And do you think their union will inspire more interracial marriages across class lines? Yes, I do think that it would inspire more interracial marriages across class lines. Anything that anyone derives inspiration from to elevate and expand their self is I'm for. Um, I don't have a problem with it. So I think good for Megan. I go in and out with my like for her, but I did not know her well before she married Prince Harry. I loved the royals and Prince Harry and Prince William and Diana, Princess Diana, for a long time, way longer than I even knew Meghan Markle existed. So when I did do that story, I'm very happy for her. One that I love. I love Prince Harry and Prince William, and I adore Kate. I mean, Kate's outfits, Kate be pulling it together. Like I love her. So Megan is growing on me, and I'm extremely excited for the concept that a woman could be fully into her womanhood and marry someone and you know across such a huge, kind of gap, and then have a baby and build a family and just do it where it looks so seamless. You know what I mean? And she just does it with grace. And so I'm proud of her. And I think that she is an inspiration. And Harry is as well. He's He's I mean, I sense him to be an amazing, kind of passionate and intentional person, and I'm happy for them, and I think that they are an inspiration, and I think it will, open people's eyes to being able to love outside of what they think they are restricted to. So I do think it's an inspiration. What else, guys? Okay. All right. I said, you've explained the differences between white Swedes to white Americans. Can I ask you how Brits are different to white Americans? Okay, so I explained, the white Brits, honesty. It's easier for me to connect with white people from other countries than it is for me to connect with white people here, unless I've known them for a very long time. There are some special cases. Now, I have some white friends who, Americans, who are amazing. My oldest friend that I love the dearest in my heart is white. So I don't have a problem with white or connecting with them, but I found that it was easier to do so overseas in the UK and even when I visited in Sweden. Now, in the UK, to be fair, in the UK, I lived there for over a year. I felt they spoke to me or they welcomed me into the group, especially when we were working together, like in an office. They welcomed me into the group as if we had grown up together. And obviously, we never, I mean, we weren't even from the same continent, you know what I mean? And they just welcomed me in. They connected with me, everything. It was just like we had gone to the same middle school, high school, university. And I find that in certain parts of the US, it's not like that. You don't have much to talk about. I found that in Atlanta. I had a hard time connecting with people in Atlanta. In DC, it's a little bit easier, but it's still not as easy peasy as I found it was in the UK. And I think black UK people will tell me it's because I'm American and people love Americans. So they're always like wanting to connect with you and wanting to be your friend. And okay, if that is it, so be it, but I found it easier to connect with them. Um I found the difference between white Brits and white Swedish people. White Swedish people were very quiet. They spoke very softly to each other unless they were drinking and drunk. UK people are a little bit closer to American people, very loud, very outgoing. Now, they're not as loud as American people or white American people, but they are definitely louder than Swedes, and more outgoing in demeanor culturally. Um, but they're still, you still have the very, but I found them to be a little less shy than the Swedish people. I found Swedish people to be very shy and quiet and reserved. And I think that's another reason why they like Americans so much because we smile and we're like, hi, and we're like fake, as they call it, but we're just like outgoing and we're used to making small talk and forced to be extroverts, basically. All right, what else are you guys asking? All right, let me see. All right. You're currently studying for your master's program in London. How did you start relations as a newcomer to the city outside of uni? All of my relationships were through uni. I actually did not hang out with my master's program fellow students a lot. I hung out with the other master's program. There was a lot of guys and other girls in the master's for information security at my uni. So I was studying business, and there was the other cohort was studying the other big cohort was studying information security, and I hung out with them. I found them to me. They looked out for me harder. Actually, I just got word that one of my really, really, really good friends who supported me my entire time at uni in my master's and who encouraged me to vlog, who always encouraged me to blog. He passed away recently. He was from Kenya. And he passed away recently, and so that's another reason why I decided to get back on YouTube is because he always encouraged me to blog, vlog, create, and his life will continue to inspire me. So that's how I made friends. And then I also made friends in my workplace. And what I did was I got a job through the alumni at my university at an office in the UK. And at that office, they were young people. And as I said, the Brits welcomed me like we went to the same high school, middle school, everything. And so I was friends with them as well. And so that's the two ways that I made friends in the UK, and so the community of radio hosts, there was an opportunity for me make friends with them. There was a radio station on the campus, and so I wanted to do a radio show, and so I was able to audition and get through, and I got a radio show, and so that community of radio hosts were my friends as well. So if you're looking for friends to make friends in the UK, I would definitely start with the students on campus and look at the organizations. I would also party on Wednesdays at the student union because they had parties every Wednesday night at the student union when I was studying, and so that was a way that I made friends as well. And then friends of friends, they would do kickbacks and house parties, and I would make friends that way. So it does require you to put yourself out a bit and actually join an organization and be visible and attend events, whether they're student events or community events, meetup.com or things like that. Um, Internations was another international organization for expats and people studying abroad. That was a way. It's a Small World is another one. So there are all these organizations that you have to join to put yourself in the community of people if you're wanting to build that community for yourself when you're overseas. So it's definitely possible. All right. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Yeah, I do think Megan is a pretty much of a good fit. I think she spends a lot of time making sure it looks like she's a good fit, and and so I think she's still getting her footing on how to truly be authentic. I think she brings a lot of the actress energy. Once the baby comes and she gets a bit more comfortable, she'll be able to put down the actress presentation and actually get into the role a bit more. And I think she'll be able to do that. I can imagine that it would be a scary turn of events to be able to kind of transition your life into a royal lifestyle. And so I think she's doing good. But I think, the drama is just a distraction. And I think she's getting her footing. You're welcome, Felicia. I hope that helps. Moved to California. All my friends are so diverse. Love the UK. So I heard German men are shy. So this year I was able to fly over California, LA specifically, and I was in San Jose, and I didn't like it. Now, granted, the fires were going on, so it was very smoky, but here's the thing that I didn't like the most about LA: the aerial view. Okay, I didn't get to party or go out there, but the aerial view was not what I was expecting at all. When we flew over LA, I thought we would see lush vegetation, water, things like that. Kind of things that I'm used to seeing as a Floridian. When you fly over Florida, you see water, you see Everglades, you see lush vegetation, you see life. That's life to me, right? But when we flew over LA, all I saw was like a motherboard. It looked like someone had opened up the back of a computer and all lights and connectivity, and it was night. So all you saw was, lights and connectivity. And let me say that again. It wasn't night where it was pitch black where you couldn't see the vegetation. It was like the sun was setting. So what you saw most were the lights and the motherboards and things. It looked like the back of a computer. And I just thought, oh my God, this place is so wired. I don't know if I did not love the energy. And then the moon was out, but it just looked, and then it was a thick layer of smoke. It was like, station, please. I don't know. This is why I felt that way. But I do have to take another trip to LA and actually explore. And but for now, I don't know. I don't know. So, but I do understand that LA and California in general is very diverse. I need to spend a bit more time there. I've honestly not spent a lot of time there. So I do need to do that. So I've traveled overseas to all these places. I've been to Mexico, Caribbean, and Europe. I've not been to Asia, and I definitely want to go there. I have a good friend in Bali who does all these trips there. So I might hit that up relatively soon. I want to go to Thailand, I want to go to Croatia, and I have so many places in Africa to visit. I am just trying to figure out where I should go to first and when I can dedicate the time to South Africa, come to Tanzania, come to Kenya. And I'm just like, I don't know where to go. So I got to figure out Africa. absolutely on my list. And I've done all of that, but I haven't done California. I've done Phoenix, Arizona, Glendale, Arizona, Vegas, and Denver, Colorado. But I've not done, and then I popped into LA and I popped into San Jose, but I've not done full like California. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a few more questions and then I'm going to call it an evening. I hope I was able to give you guys. Girl has been. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. Things are going good, and I'm really inspired right now to work on the Travel Alchemist Collective. So if you haven't seen my other video about it, please watch it. And if you missed the beginning part of this live, definitely rewatch it when we go. And give this video a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And if you're interested in the collective, getting your name on the email list to be the first ones to know what's happening when we fully launch and we get all our trips and our community, definitely drop your email address and your phone number in my Gmail box. It's Kells Collective at Gmail, and also hit me up on IG. It's Kells with 3 S's on the end on IG. Right? All right. So last round of questions, and then I'm gonna call it an evening. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying. What do you think about French people? I loved French people. One French guy like ran his hand through my hair. I was like, boy, you better stop. Like they were very sweet. Even when you tried to speak French with them, they speak English to you because they were trying to practice their English and you're trying to be respectful and practice your French. I think the stereotype that they're rude might apply to rude people, but not French people in general. They were amazing to me. And as I said, like when I travel, I get treated very well. You know what I mean? So experiences are. So I just know mine, and I know that everyone that I talk to, they're treated very well. So sometimes when you hear these kind of stereotypical French people are rude, I think it's just the energy that you bring and the respectfulness that you bring, and as long as they sense that genuineness and that respect, they will. There is no language barrier when it comes to the energy that you're bringing. So yeah, I like French people. I would say when you travel, just learn a few words. Please, thank you. La cuenta, the check. S'il vous plaît, please. Just your basic things. You don't have to learn a fluent language. Pretty much everyone who's in the hospitality business, s'il vous plaît, tak, whatever your common polite things to say, just kind of put them in your phone. Also, iPhones or any phones, Androids, any smartphone, use Google Translate. So you're able to put anything you need to say into Google Translate. And I believe it does voice dictation as well. So if you're really in a bind, you can download Google Translate as an app, I believe, and use that to translate anything. But yeah, I think it would be helpful to learn a few casual, polite things to say in languages when you're going to different countries. But most times they're going to speak English in the places that you're going to be if you're going to these kind of central locations. Yeah, France is having a little bit of issues. I think it's mainly in Paris. If you go to the south of France, I think it will be better. I think it will be much better. Okay, so Felicia, transitioning back to the US is definitely difficult. Um, when you've lived overseas for a long time. I remember when I was overseas, I was reading something about reverse culture shock. I have videos about it on my channel here, so if you get a chance, go ahead and go through my playlists or search on my page and find the videos I talk about with reverse culture shock. But it's essentially transitioning back to the US, where the US no longer feels like home after you've lived overseas and kind of gotten acclimated to the new culture that you're living in. It's challenging because you start to question who you are in the world and how you're received, and not only how you're received externally, but how you perceive yourself. I will say that the reverse culture shock and my exploration of self that came about from my trying to understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling with reverse culture shock was the first steps for me in this kind of spiritual awakening that I feel I am in the midst of. And when I say spiritual awakening, it means, again, just an exploration of self, learning how to heal myself of any kind of traumas that I'm aware of, not aware of, learning how to trust myself and follow my intuition, learning how to be feminine. And how to understand the power in femininity, and not to forsake that for very masculine attributes all the time, which is usually how we're governed to behave as women in the States. Um, Understanding that, you know, you do have guidance, you do have an inner knowing. You are a powerful manifester if you know what that means and you know how to do it and you know how to tap into it. That you are here to be happy and to live your fullest, expansive life. All of that exploration of self and all of that kind of spiritual awakening that I feel like I am I am exploring right now first started as me questioning why I felt so different overseas versus why I feel different here in the States. And so I would not fear coming back to the States, but understand that you will have questions. You will have questions of self, and it may help you uncover things about yourself and how you see yourself in the world, and that you didn't expect. And it did for me. I learned culture shock and transformation in the Travel Alchemist Collective, as I spoke about earlier in this live and as I spoke about in my other video. So if you're interested in that, Felicia, definitely, I think we'll definitely talk about that in the group and with our travel transformation plan that we'll be creating for everyone. All right, last question, guys. Let's see. Give me a good. London's still here for you. Love you. Hey, Hanky. Your enthusiasm for travel is infectious. Thank you, Blue Skies. I am an advocate for travel, and that's the community that I am building out right now and working for. And so if you feel like, dang, I really feel that same connection to travel, and I really want to kind of make it a priority in my life and kind of overcome, my own getting in my own way of stopping me from really pulling the trigger and really being bold and really doing it, then, hit me up and I'll put you on the list for Travel Alchemist Collective. Um, all right, last question, guys. Thank you. Um, Blue Skies, I'm going to take your comment to Felicia. When I tried to stay in the UK and I was having job offers, but they were not to the level that I loved, right? It was before Brexit, so I don't know how it is now. But there are other places that you can go to in Europe that will be easy to transition into, um, they're not exactly like the UK, but they're similar. So there are other opportunities in coming back to the States, if you are like dreadfully, not wanting Germany actually. Um, I know some friends in Sweden. I know a friend now who's talking about going to the Netherlands. So there are absolutely options for you to stay in Europe if you want to, outside of the issue with the UK, the immigration issue there. So anyway, guys, I think that's it for this live. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we exit, make sure to smash that like button. I truly appreciate it. And again, rewatch this live if you missed the beginning part to just hear where I've been, where my headspace is at right now, what I've been thinking, and just the community, the collective that we're working on. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys joining. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, guys. And I will be on more often. I'm going to try to get a consistent schedule. I don't know if I'll be able to pick a certain day per week. Guys, leave me in the comments if there's a particular day. And I know the evening time is better, probably between 6 and 9. But if there's a particular day that you would love for me to go to consistently live on, let your girl know. I'll be happy to try to work that into my schedule. But in the meantime, definitely look out for the Travel Alchemist Collective, the Travel Alchemy videos, and how powerfully, we're going to be talking about how powerfully transformative travel is, and definitely pulling the group together to encourage more travel and exploration of the world and of self. So thank you guys so much. It's amazing to be back. I'm like geeked. Yeah, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.